After nearly a month of fierce competition, the field in the Indiana State High School basketball tournament has been reduced to the Final Four. And those four clubs are ready to do battle to decide this year's state champion. Leading off with the hometown favorite, the Indianapolis Cathedral Irish, and what is probably the people's choice, the Plymouth Pilgrims. That winner goes up against the winner in game number 2 this afternoon, which has the unbeaten and number 1 ranked Evansville Bossy Bulldogs meeting the Panthers of Gary Roosevelt. Good morning, everybody. This is Jerry Baker live from Market Square Arena. It is a beautiful day in our city. It's frosty, it's cold, it's a little windy. It is perfect, conducive weather for high school basketball. We got the best of the lot for you today. Leading off with the Plymouth Pilgrims at 26-1, coached by Jack Edison. The interesting thing about this ball club, no starter over 6 feet 2 inches tall. They have 2 great guards in Scott Skiles and Phil Wendell. And the problem they're going to face today is a front line of Cathedral's Fighting Irish that goes 6'2", 6'3", 6'10". It has been suggested that Jack Edison might go to his zone defense and try to make some inroads against that. He says probably not. They've gone with a man-to-man all year. They see no reason to change right now. Offensively, you might expect them to hold the basketball against that size of a defense. Probably not. They're averaging almost 76 points per game. That's best in the Final Four. Cathedral's Irish, as Coach Tom O'Brien has them at 27-2. If you have not seen them play, you're in for a treat. They have an outstanding center, 6'10" Kenny Barlow, averaging over 17 points per ball game. Now, they were out with one of their starting forwards, Tim Hoffman, who will be on the bench in street clothes. When they took him out of the lineup with mononucleosis, they made some changes. A guard went to forward. They took a substitute off the bench, put him into the guard spot. He leads the team in assists, as a matter of fact. They are the best field goal shooting team in the Final Four. Game number 2 this afternoon, the number 1 ranked and unbeaten at 27 prized Evansville Bossy Bulldogs of Joe Mullen. Ranked number 1 in both of the final polls. They won their tournament games by over 19 points per game average. That's almost unbelievable. They're looking to become the first undefeated championship since the championship team since East Chicago, Washington got the job done in 1971. Young man named Myron Christian, a 6'4" senior, leads their club at almost 22 per game. Gary Roosevelt, if you're looking for what might be a surprise ball club in the Final Four, maybe they fill the bill. They're 21-5. That's the worst record, although one of those losses was a forfeit in the opening game of the year. Their coach is Ron Heflin, extremely enthusiastic and obviously an outstanding talent. First trip to the Final Four since 1968. They have a young man who's simply a sensational basketball player. His name is Ronaldo Thomas. He's 6'4", he's a senior, averaging just a shade under 18 per ball game. Over 17,000 fans are now settling in at Market Square Arena. And of course, Hilliard Gates and Joe Sexton will return and join me in just a moment. And we'll be back for the opening tip-off and more introductions of tonight's players in just a moment.
All of Plymouth is proud of their Plymouth Pilgrims basketball team, especially Oliver Ford Lincoln Mercury, because they know it takes a lot of hard work and sacrifice to be one of the best. And that's why Oliver Ford is proud of the kind of deals they can make you on a new Ford, too. Being a small-town dealer, Oliver Ford thinks they can work out a better deal for you than you'll get from bigger dealerships. Visit Oliver Ford in Plymouth at 500 West Jefferson. They'll work hard to give you their best. Oliver Ford Lincoln Mercury.
Court at Market Square Arena just a few minutes before the introduction of the starting lineup for the two rivals here this morning. Joe Sexton, we talked a lot about offense and defense. Is it Plymouth's defense against Indianapolis Cathedral's offense? Would you say that's an oversimplification?
Well, it possibly could be from the standpoint that I think Cathedral has a variety of defenses that they may use, Hilliard, whereas Plymouth, although they say it's man-to-man only, they do get a lot of help from the weak side, which gives it some zone look also. But last week against Muncie Central, Cathedral playing a zone defense, a 2-3 zone defense, had to go to a man-to-man defense when they got behind Muncie, and so they are going to use a variety of defenses, whereas Plymouth, I think, will stick with their man-to-man.
Joe, quickly, what would be a key? What should we look for early? Barlow scoring or getting into foul trouble, or Skiles scoring or not scoring?
Well, I think that we'll have to keep an eye on Barlow. He was very good last week at not getting into foul trouble. Now, he has been in foul trouble earlier in the season, but he is watching that more. He is a little more tentative around the basket. He can't afford to do that because Plymouth will be going after the basketball.
Well, I can hardly wait. Tip-off is a few minutes away. We'll join you at the desk in a moment.
All right.
Jerry Baker has returned now to the broadcasting position. He will highlight some of the players of the opening game here this morning. Take it, Jerry.
Thank you, Hilliard. Of course, an awful lot of talk about one young man from Plymouth High School. His name is Scott Skiles. He is number 22. You see him on your screen. He is only 6 feet 1 inches tall. He is a senior. He leads the team in scoring with an average of 28.8. That may finish up being the highest scoring total in the state of Indiana this year. He also leads the team in rebounds, which is rather unique for a guard, averaging over 7 per contest. He also leads the team in steals, an average of 3.5 per game. And he hands out almost 6 assists per contest, which is he has a 5.6 average. His ready-made guard, Philip Whittle, at 5'7". That's how close they are. He's an all-around great athlete. That is Scott Skiles. And, of course, when you talk about the Irish of Cathedral, you fans out there getting a chance to look at the first time to Tom O'Brien's ball club, watch this young man. This is number 34, Kenny Barlow. He is a senior, standing 6'10". Many people who know of this game very well think that he is indeed the best big man in the entire state of Indiana. Leads the team in scoring, 17-1. Leads the team in block shots with 58. Leads the team in field goal percentage, 67%. That's not a typo. That is an accurate situation. And also leads the ball club in free throw percentage at 76%. You'll notice he does not lead the team in rebounds. Strange, huh? The leading rebounder is a young man named Scott Hicks, who was only a 6 feet 2 inch junior. And that'll give you some indication as to how well the Fighting Irish Cathedral go to the boards. So you've seen a couple of the players, or of course many other that are outstanding players, or they wouldn't be here as a ball club. But those are the ones we'll watch for very carefully this afternoon. Cathedral 27-2, Plymouth at 26-1. We are about set for the introduction of our starting lineups. One of your network sponsors is American Fletcher National Bank. Arena, the buzzer is sounded. Both ball clubs have gone toward their respective benches, surrounding their head coach. And we are about set to swing across the floor to our public address announcer for this morning's games, Tom Carnegie.
Presenting first, the home club in the first game, the Cathedral Irish. First of all, Tim Hoffman, out of uniform due to illness. Number 44, Carl Daniels. Number 42, Tim Healy. Number 32, Randy Knox. Number 30, Terry Buford. Number 24, Jeff Huey. Number 22, Clarence Tarr. Number 14, Rob Taylor. And now the starting combination. At the forward, number 10, Scott Hicks.
Scott is a 6'2" junior, averaging 15.5 points and 9.5 rebounds per game.
Number 40, Brad Montgomery.
Brad is a young man who went from guard to forward with the illness of one of the players. He's a 6'3" senior, 4.5 points a game.
At the center position, 34, Ken Barlow.
Just named an All-American, Kenny at 6'10", averaging 17.1.
Number 12 at a guard, Shelton Smith.
You will love this young man. He really plays the game. A 6-foot sophomore, 9.5 points a game.
And rounding out the starting lineup, number 20, Scott Fatt.
He is the young man that came off the bench, averaging 4.2, a 5'10" junior, 4.5 assists per game.
And the coach for the Irish, Tom O'Brien.
Tom O'Brien, third-year coach, a record of 50 wins and 26 losses for 66% winning percentage.
Here we are with the Plymouth Pilgrims. Number 54, Timothy Maxtra. Number 52, Larry John. Number 50, James Johnson. Number 44, Mark Stuckenborg. Number 40, Peter Rockaway. Number 30, Scott Holland. Here we go with the starting combination for the Pilgrims at forward. Number 20, Todd Samuelson.
Todd is a 5'11 junior, averaging 5.1.
Number 42, Barry Peterson.
Barry, a senior, standing 6'2", averaging 6.1. Not much scoring in the forwards.
At center, number 34, Ronald Sissel.
Ron is a senior, standing only 6'2", scoring just under 9 points a game.
And the guards, number 12, Philip Wendell.
Bill is a 5'11 senior, leads the team in assists at 5.7, scores 17.6.
Number 22, Scott Skiles.
Oh, here's a great ball player, my friend. A 6'1 senior, averaging 28.8, leads the team in rebounds and steals.
And the coach of the Pilgrims, Jack Edison.
Jack Edison, 37 years old. This is ninth year at Plymouth, a record of 147 wins and 65 losses, a winning percentage of 69.3, very impressive.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's stand and salute the flag of the United States of America as we present, with Chuck Owens of the organ, our national anthem.
The officials, Joe Sexton, for the first game of the afternoon.
Yeah, we have Bob Marsnick and Roger DeYoung in the wrong order there, but...
We did that last week.
Yeah, we're pretty good at that. That's all right.
Anyway, those are the officials, and we are set to play basketball. Plymouth got here with wins in the Plymouth sectional over Bremen and Argus. They, in the Plymouth regional, defeated Manchester and Elkhart Memorial. In the Fort Wayne semi, a win over Marion, 56-55 in overtime, 77-71 over South Bend LaSalle, avenging their only loss of the year. Cathedral won a tough Indianapolis sectional over Lawrence Central, Broderville, and Arlington. Then they had just a devil of a regional, beating Howe and Washington, both ranked ball clubs. Then last Saturday defeated Connorsville 71-62 and Muncie Central 67-55 to find themselves in the Final Four for the first time in the history of the school, and the same can be said, of course, for the Plymouth of Pilgrims. The opening tap controlled by the Cathedral Irish, and off they go with two right off the bat. And that is Scotty Hicks. Keep an eye on this young man. He has not gotten a lot of ink because of the tremendous enthusiasm approach to Kenny Barlow, but Hicks can play the game. His first two of the day.
Jerry, they went to a press early. Now they're back into a zone.
Rebounded by Kenny Barlow. Joe Sexton will keep an eye on defense being tossed up by Plymouth, Joe, because it's a matchup situation that's very interesting today.
We have a man-to-man there, which should help inside by Plymouth.
This shot from Brad Montgomery, not a particularly good score. Plymouth comes down with their second opportunity offensively. In the middle they go, and the traffic is heavy. And the rebound comes off to Plymouth on the missed shot from Scott Skiles.
Scott Skiles usually goes inside now, and things usually happen.
Scott is a guard, but leads the team in rebounds, and that would indicate, as Hilliard mentioned, that he does like to go inside and bang bodies to the big guy. 1 minute gone, first period, 2-0 basketball game with Cathedral out in front. They hit their first shot of the game, and that has been it. Now a foul, first of the afternoon or morning. It's against the Irish of Cathedral. And we'll take it on number 20. That'll be Scott Fath. Fath is the young man who, when Tim Hoffman came down with mononucleosis, was brought off the bench, put into the starting lineup, and when he did get in the starting lineup, he already led the team in assists, so it's not like bringing an untried rookie off that bench.
A little confusion there about what kind of defense they want to be in. They've gone to a 2-3 zone, Cathedral has.
Outside, Phil Wendell comes on the near side to Skiles. Covered up well by Scott Hicks. Back to Wendell again. Now for the first time, Ron Sissel had a chance to hold the basketball, and the Irish in that 2-3 zone, very effective so far in the game. Wendell. Phil Wendell getting his first 2 of the morning. Tied at 2 at 6:18 to play first period.
That was the typical Plymouth tempo offense.
Fine defensive play from Phil Wendell. Behind the back and the near side of Wendell. Blocked away beautifully by Kenny Barlow. That brought a reaction from both sides of the floor. Plymouth fans wanted goaltending. Kenny Barlow gets his first 2 of the day. Well, it's a fast-paced game so far, Joe. Nobody's sitting back and relaxing.
No, and I see that Plymouth is trying to score against the full court pressure.
Barlow getting his first foul of the day as Scott Skiles took the ball to the hoop. Joe, well, let's take a look at this again here.
All right, here we go now with the drive. Nice pass in here to Skiles. Now watch the fake before he goes up right there. Jumps into Kenny Barlow, and there's the foul.
I'm a little interested, Joe, in the fact that it looks like Plymouth is going to test Cathedral early inside. They're going right to the hole on it.
They're going to take it down there and try to score against the pressure, which is something that we need to keep an eye on and see if they continue to do that.
Scott Skiles, just in the past couple of days, has been named UPI All-State First Team. Comes into the ball game shooting 52.5% from the floor, 77% from the free throw line.
Also a great baseball prospect as a shortstop.
Is an outstanding baseball player.
Full court pressure now by Plymouth. So we have full court pressure by both teams.
4-4 is the score with 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Cathedral with Shelton Smith and Scott Fath at guard. Ken Barlow in the middle. Hicks and Montgomery at forwards, and a foul down inside against, I believe, Ron Sissel. And that'll be the first on Ron. And, Joe, that might be the biggest problem that Cathedral's going to face today once, or I should say, Plymouth will face once Cathedral gets it inside.
And they're certainly looking in there. Scott Fath gave Big Ron Barlow the pass last time, and Montgomery was looking in the pass series.
Shelton Smith had it taken away from him by Todd Samuelson. Baseball pass up court to Scott Skiles. And it's a 6-4 lead for the first time. Plymouth goes out in front. 5:07 to go, first period. Knocked away again, but picked up inside to Barlow. Kenny couldn't get it. Rebounded Scott Skiles again. Boy, Plymouth's gone to the defensive boards exceptionally well. Skiles takes the shot, not a good shot, and rebounded in there by number 10, Scott Hicks of the Irish of Cathedral. Cathedral averages 67.1, Plymouth 75.9. Foul, Todd Samuelson, number 1. Second against the club, so no shots involved here. Defensively, Cathedral allows 54.6, Plymouth 59.8. And they're both good shooting ball clubs. The Irish shooting 55% from the floor, Plymouth 54%. Cathedral 69.6 in the line, Plymouth 73.3. Those are the numbers, and the score is 6-4, Plymouth out in front. 4.5 minutes to go, first period. Shelton Smith. And Joe, we all know, you and I have worked regional and semi-state, that if Shelton Smith gets on a tear, he can put 30 points up there.
Shelton's looking for the openings. Penetrate the defense.
Sissel is trying to front Kenny Barlow, and that's quite a duel going on along the foul lane.
One of the first turnovers by the Plymouth Pilgrims. Tie ball game at 6. Nobody's had more than a 2-point lead. Montgomery rebounded by Hicks, and a foul called on the rebound. It'll be on 42, Barry Peterson.
All right, let's watch Scott Hicks now from Cathedral go up for this rebound. Barlow was blocked out very well, but here's Hicks going up for the ball. foul Peterson then. Nice rebound by Scott Hicks.
I know, they put the foul on Sissel, not on Peterson, so that changes things a little bit. That would have been Peterson's first, and they put it on Sissel. That gives him 2. Now here's an offensive foul against Cathedral. And on Barlow, I believe. That's 2 on Kenny, and that'll be an important factor in this ball game. First substitution of the contest. Barlow going out, and they bring in a guy almost as big, Carl Daniels, who's a sophomore, standing 6 feet 7 inches tall, averaging 2.7 points, 2.1 rebounds, and he has 23 block shots to his credit. Plymouth in their red uniforms, trimmed in white, Irish in white, trimmed in blue and gold. 3 minutes and 44 seconds to play in the first quarter, and a 6-6 tie ball game. Each club is led at 1 point by a couple of points. Wendell may have walked, and he did. That's intimidation there, Joe.
Yes, it was, and he should have gone up with that ball. He got a nice pass with Scott Skiles on the baseline.
Irish can run with you, or they can slow it down. They're a finesse ball club. They don't like to bang bodies real well, but that's kind of a incorrect assessment. They say they don't, but they play well, very well against physical ball clubs. Here's Shelton Smith again. Shelton is only a sophomore, 6-footer, 9.5 points per game, shooting 54% from the floor. 8-6 basketball game. Skiles, underhands in the middle. Wendell didn't get it. And walking called against Plymouth. The ball went up, I guess, at the bottom of the backboard and came back down in his hand.
That was a good call, Jerry.
Now, Joe, offensively for Cathedral, I noticed already that Plymouth's done it. They backed off on Brad Montgomery. They did the same thing last week in the semi-state.
That's right. Brad gets his chances, but now we have a different situation with Barlow out of there. They'll be playing him straighter, probably, Jerry.
Timeout has been called with 2:56 to play in the first period. It's an 8-6 basketball game. The Irish at Cathedral lead the Plymouth Pilgrims. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
Style, a drive to Treat Squire Shop in downtown Plymouth is well worth the trip. Treat Squire Shop offers a careful yet abundant selection of brand name merchandise. They stock over 1,800 suits and 900 sport coats by Austin Reed, Phoenix, Palm Beach, Stanley Blacker, and others. And at Treats, you can expect personal service from their staff and their own tailors who care that you look well dressed and well fitted. Yes, it's well worth the drive to downtown Plymouth just to shop Treat Squire Shop. Open daily 9 till 5:30 and until 8:30 on Friday.
The club shooting very well to this point of the game. Cathedral 44%, Plymouth only 25%. Joe, some observations early on.
Well, we're going to take a look here now and see what the Plymouth team can do on the boards. Get the ball. They started out running a little bit more than we anticipated, Jerry.
Carl Daniels, who came in to relieve Ken Barlow, picks up his first 2 of the day. He's not that big a scorer, averaging 2.7, just over 2 rebounds per contest. 10-6 is the lead. For Cathedral, that's the biggest lead that either ball club's enjoyed so far here this morning.
I'm a little surprised also, Jerry, that Scott Skiles has not taken the perimeter shots that have been offered to him in Cathedral zone.
Hicks, Shelton Smith. Shelton Smith has got to be one of the, I don't want to use this word, but it's true, Joe, one of the brashest sophomores you ever run across. He has a personality that just absolutely exudes confidence, and he backs it up. He can play this game. So they've got 3 or 4 players who, when one guy gets in trouble, the other can pick up the gap. Deep in that corner, there is the shot from Skiles, the one you're talking about.
That's the one he's going to have to take because he gets inside. There are too many big people to shut off his offensive move there.
Skiles has 6 of the 8 points now that the Plymouth Pilgrims have in this basketball game. Smith again, didn't get it this time. Good position on the rebound from Barry Peterson. Peterson bounces it up to Phil Wendell. Rebound saved out back by Samuelson. Put it back in the middle again and give the 2 points to Scott Skiles. Skiles now with 3 field goals and 2 out of 2 from the stripe and an 8-point total, and it's back to a 2-point lead now for Cathedral at 12-10. Hicks. Again, good position by Skiles. You can see why he's the leading rebounder on this basketball club. First off, he's a rather healthy young man. Carries a few pounds of weight on that 6'1 frame, and he's not afraid to go inside with the big fellas. Sissel getting his first 2, and It was a 12-6 basketball game, and now it is tied at 12. Third time it's been locked up with less than a minute to play in the first quarter. Now down to 50 seconds remaining, first period. Bath in a little trouble. Off to Smith. Near side to Daniels. Dropped inside to Montgomery. Heavy traffic. Daniels tried to tap it up. Could not, and Montgomery commits the foul. Brad with number 1. And it looks to me, Joe, as though Cathedral's missing the presence of Ken Barlow.
All right, here's the pass inside now from Daniels to Montgomery. He turns around and shoots. There's the rebound right there. The foul was on Montgomery right after that. Montgomery, Skiles is guarding Montgomery and is absolutely leaving him to go two-time the basketball, Jerry.
Change the lineup now for the Irish. Number 32, Randy Knox, a 6-foot senior, played in 27 games, averaged 1.7, comes into the ball game. Montgomery gets a seat alongside head coach Tom O'Brien across the way. Wendell to Skiles. Penetration back to Phil Wendell, 12-footer. Rebound by Wendell again. And a great play by Phil Wendell. And Plymouth has run off now 8 consecutive points to take the lead at 14-12 with 9 seconds to play in the first quarter. Now it comes to Knox. Here is Shelton Smith, 15-footer. Won't go. Rebound, and that's the end of the first period. After 1, it's Plymouth with an 8-point burst, leading Cathedral 14-12. One of your network sponsors is American Fletcher National Bank. In the first quarter, Cathedral shot 43%, Plymouth 38%. Neither ball club shooting well. Joe, what do we got? State Final 4 jitters, maybe?
I think probably that's the case.
Barry Peterson, who is jumping center for Plymouth, is an accomplished concert pianist.
We could have perhaps gotten him to play the national anthem then come down. What was it? Phil Cox a few years ago for Connorsville sang the national anthem.
Right.
All right, Cathedral's got a 2-point deficit here now, and a whistle and a lane violation called against the Irish. Joe, you had some observations on the Irish defense.
Well, the thing of it is, Plymouth right now is able to get a couple of extra shots, offensive rebounds that they were not getting early in the quarter, early in the ball game when Barlow was in there, but he's out now with 2 fouls.
This is Phil Wendell playing very well, defensively being checked by Scott Bath. They get it inside, and Ron Sissel gets his second field goal, and for the first time of the game, Plymouth goes up by 4. They were down by 6. They have scored 10 consecutive points. Almost taken away, but corralled by Scott Hicks. Out to Smith, around the pick by Carl Daniels. Daniels gets it again, still won't go. Great rebound again, and stripped away beautifully, I believe, by Barry Peterson. Loose on the floor, and a walking violation gives the ball to the Plymouth Pilgrims. Cathedral in the first period, 6 of 15 for 40%. Plymouth 6 of 12 for 50%. That's better than what we had it over here. Cathedral did not go to the line. Plymouth 2 out of 2, and the rebounds 10-6 in favor of Plymouth Pilgrims. So they're going to the boards exceptionally well. They got a 4-point lead with 1 minute gone here in the second quarter. Wendell again. And the lead jumps to 6. And has Tom O'Brien made that defensive adjustment yet, Joe? I don't believe so.
Well, the problem right now is I think Tom can't wait much longer to get Kenny Barlow in there. Right now, they're a little disorganized.
Out of bounds off the fingertips of number 32, Randy Knox. And the Irish are having their jitters right now. Plymouth went through a bit of a stage of that early in the contest. They seem to have settled down now, and Cathedral's going through that.
Well, you see, Cathedral started out, as you talked about, throwing the ball inside to Barlow, but now Barlow's not there, and now Daniels is there, and they don't seem to know whether to throw it into Daniels or keep it on the perimeter.
Skiles again. Skiles has just given Plymouth an 8-point lead. After being down by 6, they have run off 14 consecutive points. Here is the steal, and out of bounds. I'll tell you what, they got some of the quickest hands I've seen all year. Samuelson makes the steal. You watch the replay.
Great steal right there.
This is their game, Joe.
Steal it back. Great effort there.
Timeout has been called by Cathedral with 6:14 to go in the first period. They trail 20-12. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance. their tall lineup. They got both the big guys in there now. That would include Ken Barlow and Carl Daniels. So they got a front line now of 6'2", 6'7", 6'8". And still the shots come from outside. And Ron Sissel now with 6 points, and the lead has gone to 10. Well, they have just been on a tear. They were down, what was it, Hilliard? 12-6.
12-6, correct.
They have scored
16 in a row.
just unbelievably so. Now a foul call against Scott Skiles, number 1 on Scott, 4th against the ball club, so no shots involved. They'll take it out of bounds right in front of the Plymouth bench, and their head coach, Jack Edison, 37-year-old Jack Edison, married. He and his wife, Judy, have a couple of youngsters, Lisa, 9, and Michael, 5. You can bet they're in the stands today. Irish have not shown much offensive power in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Shelton Smith, almost an air ball. Good position on the rebound that time from Skiles. They tried to penetrate. Skiles got it back and missed the shot. But they managed to tip it around, and Sissel comes out with it. Peterson, well, they work the ball quickly, don't they? Skiles penetrates inside the free throw line area. Wendell almost had it knocked away by Fath, who averted the foul. And there's the rebound by Scotty Hicks. Well, they got plenty of rebounding power in there, Joe, right now. Cathedral has.
I don't think Plymouth will get many second shots. But they're doing such a great job defensively, is where Plymouth is doing such a great job. And then they're speeding up the pace offensively, taking it down there. Scott Skiles had a lay-in, and, of course, Barlow with 2 fouls let him shoot it, but he missed it the last time down the floor.
May have seen the Plymouth players slapping their wrists, slapping their own wrist. It indicates some kind of an offensive setup they won, and whatever it is, it gave Skiles all the room in the world. They go to Wendell, and Wendell walked to the basketball. Plymouth, according to their head coach, Jack Edison, likes to go to a man-to-man. They said it got them there all year long, Joe, but it's a... And being a coach, you understand this perhaps better than the average fan. It's a man-to-man, but they got so many variations of it. He said sometimes looks like a zone defense.
That's right, because the people that are away from the ball are all the way back in the lane. Unique lineup here now. Scott Fath is out. Brad Montgomery is back in for him. Cathedral is even bigger.
Carl Daniels has got his second bucket of the afternoon, 22-14. That took a long dry spell. It went about 5 minutes, I guess, before they finally scored. 22-14. Plymouth out in front with 4:19 to go on the first half. Sissel comes near side to number 22, Scott Skiles.
Shelton Smith is matched up with Scott Skiles here in their man-to-man defense.
Well, that could get interesting. Good offensive player on both of them part, and also fine defensive players. Smith almost makes the steal, but at least he gets things happening. A jump ball. Shelton Smith is just one of those young men who, when he puts the uniform on, that's about the only thing that's on his mind. He really gives you his all. Look at it again here.
Here's a replay here now. Here's the pass back. Now watch Shelton Smith go out after Scott Skiles. He loses control, and then right there, Scott Hicks ties him up.
Back live, the Irish control the tip easily, and the foul is on Scott Skiles, number 2 on Scott. He and Ron Sissel have a pair. Well, Kenny Barlow's in trouble for Cathedral. He had a couple of personal fouls very early in this contest. Irish at 27-2, Plymouth at 26-1. The only loss for the Irish all year, they lost their final regular season hit for the Plymouth all year, was to South Bend LaSalle, 64-62. They came back and defeated LaSalle 77-71 in the championship game of the Fort Wayne Semi after being down 8 points in the 4th period.
That's the first free throw taken by Cathedral in the game, and they make it. And they're on a run now. They've hit 3 in a row.
They're a 70% free throw shooting ball club. 22-15 the score now, with Cathedral trailing and Plymouth having the basketball. Skiles again. Scott Skiles has 12 points. Took him a little while to get on track early in the contest, and Joey's now doing what you suggested, taking that shot when it's available to him.
That's right. He can make those shots, I'm sure, and now he's taking them.
Now Kenny Barlow's going. He had the first bucket of the game, and that's his first one since then, with 3.5 minutes to play in the second period. Skiles again. 14 for Scotty, averaging 28.8, 5.5 rebounds, leads the team in rebounds, in assists, and steals. He has just been awesome this year. As I mentioned, he was named to the UPI All-State first team, and you can see why. Montgomery inside to Barlow, an air ball in the corner, picked off deep by Carl Daniels. Barlow again. That's like volleyball.
As Barlow, Daniels, Barlow. 6'10", 6'7", 6'10".
And that's what it's going to take, apparently, because Plymouth is just going to give no ground whatsoever. 2 minutes and 42 seconds to play in the half. Jam-packed Market Square Arena in the heart of downtown Indianapolis. This is Jerry Baker, along with Hilliard Gage and Joe Section. We'll be here all day long, including the championship game tonight. Still being hawked by Shelton Smith, and a foul on Smith. Number 1 on Shelton. That's the 5th against the ball club. We'll start taking some foul shots now. Plymouth going to the free throw stripe. And a substitution back into the lineup now for Cathedral. And Montgomery will leave. Randy Knox, who has already played, will come back into the lineup. Montgomery going out with no points, 1 foul, averages 4.5 per.
Joe, this is an unusual foul motion that Skip Skiles has, and I'd like to have you analyze it from a coach. Runs it off the right ear.
He certainly does. He kind of sets it on his shoulder there, doesn't he?
7-point lead now for Plymouth at 26-19. Was a battle royal inside, and just as I pointed out, the foul is called on Ron Sissel. And what he was doing, Joe, I don't know if we'll get a chance to see it again, but Sissel had his left arm over the shoulder of Kenny Barlow, almost like a illegal block in football.
Well, they say he's 6'2", Jerry. When he's going against 6'10", he couldn't be any bigger than 6'3" or so. Well, he has to drape over him a little bit, and that's how he's worked himself into a 3-foul situation.
Jack Edison has taken Ron Sissel out and inserted number 50, Jamie Johnson, a sophomore, standing 6'4", averaging 3.9. Kenny Barlow, for a big guy, Joe, might have one of the best shooting touches of anybody we've seen all year. He hit 67% from the field and 76% from the free throw line. As you have not heard, he is already determined he will go to the University of Notre Dame. And Digger Phelps has got to be ecstatic with that decision. 2 minutes, 5 seconds to play. First half, 26-21. A 10-point lead of Plymouth has been chopped down now to only 5, but a foul is called against Cathedral, and it's on Randy Knox.
I'd say, Hilliard, with this free throw, one thing that we can watch here, and all the players around the state that are watching can keep an eye on, he is very steady, and he's going to shoot it the same way every time. I wouldn't say it's the best way. It might be the best way for Scott here, but he's going to shoot it right in the same place. So far, results been the same. He's 0 for 2 in there.
He hit his first 2 and now has dropped 2 in a row. Here's the outside shot that comes off the rim by Daniels, and good position on the rebound that time from Samuelson. Knocked away, but the Plymouth Pilgrims continue to maintain control. Regular season mark at 20-1, 6-0 in tournament play. Overall record at 26-1. Another substitution. Here comes Montgomery. Boy, Tom O'Brien's doing a lot of shoveling, Joe Sexton. Montgomery going in and coming out, and now they will bring him in, replacing Kenny Barlow.
And most of the substituting has been caused, it's been centered around Kenny Barlow having the 2 fouls. Right now he took him out so he won't get that third one before the half here, Jerry, with a little over a minute to go in the half.
14-12, Plymouth led at the end of the first period. They ran that lead to 10 as they ran off 16 consecutive points. Skiles rebounded beautifully by Scott Hicks. 3-on-2 on the break. Hicks takes it all the way in. Hicks is only a junior, and already, Joe, Tom O'Brien says he's a major college prospect as a junior.
Well, that was a magnificent play all the way from the rebound all the way down.
Peterson couldn't get it and may have picked up the foul. Indeed, he did. That is the first of the game on Barry Peterson.
Watch the play now. Here's the shot up. He's going to go right over the back, which is always going to be a foul when you swing at the ball and go over the back.
So we'll take the long walk to the other end of beautiful Market Square Arena. And we will check with number 32, Randy Knox, who goes to the free throw line. Randy is the second athlete in the last 20 years at Cathedral High School to let her 4 times on the football team.
Cathedral has outscored Plymouth 11-4 here.
With 50 seconds to play in the half, 26-23, Hilliard Gates will have a special guest at halftime, including Muncie Central fine head coach Bill Harrell. Jamie Johnson. Skiles got around his man, had to force the shot. Montgomery knocked it free. Now they go back inside, and this time they've got it to Jamie Johnson, getting his first two of the morning. And finally, Plymouth gets a touch of breathing room. They're up now by 5 at 28-23 with 15 seconds to play in the half. Well, as soon as Montgomery gets it, they back away. Daniels down to Shelton Smith. Down to 4. Here is Daniels, stripped away. That's it. The Irish had the ball in the last 20 seconds and couldn't even get a shot away. Plymouth's defense has been outstanding. We're at halftime, and the Plymouth Pilgrims, 26-1, lead the 27-2 Cathedral Irish by a score of 28-23. One of your network sponsors is American Fletcher National Bank.
What about this basketball game, sports fans, as we greet you again from the edge of the court at Market Square Arena, Indianapolis. The 1982 72nd annual IHSAA State Championship. The Final Four going at each other. The opening game, a thriller between Indianapolis Cathedral, the Fighting Irish, and the Pilgrims of Plymouth. Halftime is Plymouth 28 and Cathedral 23. It's really been two games. Indianapolis Cathedral got out to an early 12-6 lead. They trail, however, by 2 at the end of the first quarter at 14-12 as Plymouth got a string going and outscored Indianapolis Cathedral 16-0 at one stage of the second period. But then Cathedral coming back with the big men in the lineup, Kenny Barlow and Carl Daniels, and they brought Indianapolis Cathedral back into the thick of the contest. But it's a 5-point lead for Plymouth now by a 28-23 score. These two teams did not play each other during the regular season, and if you were tuned into our preview this morning, you heard Jack Edison, the coach of Plymouth, say that he never sent his team against a ball club this year that had the size that Indianapolis Cathedral has. Here's the scoring for Plymouth. Todd Samuelson did not score. Barry Peterson did not score, did not handle the ball very often in the game. Ron Sissel has 6, but he's riding at the moment with 3 fouls. Philip Wendell has 6 points. Scott Skiles, brilliant as always, with 14, and Jamie Johnson has the other 2. Further in the personal foul column for the Pilgrims, Skiles has 2. We mentioned Sissel with 3, Peterson with 1, and Todd Samuelson with 1. That's all the personal fouls for Jack Edison's team. For Tom O'Brien's brilliant Cathedral Ball Club, Scott Hicks has 4, did not foul in the first half. Kenny Barlow, the All-American, has 8 points and 2 personal fouls, which he got early in the contest. Carl Daniels off the bench with 4. Shelton Smith with 7. He has 1 foul. Scott Pfaff with a personal. Randy Knox, Mr. Free Throw, has 1 personal foul. And Brad Montgomery, who started for Cathedral, also with 1 personal foul in this game. The early scoring history, Cathedral led 2-0, and then it was tied at 2. It was 4-2 Cathedral. It was tied again at 6, at which stage we noticed that Plymouth came back and ran off quite a string. It was 12-6. And then finally it was 22-12, and now it is 28-23. More halftime activities at Market Square Arena in just a moment. We pause now for this message. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
For a good buy on a new car? If you are, then Oliver Ford Lincoln Mercury is the dealership for you. The owner, Jack Oliver, has been a small-town dealer since 1955. He can work out a better deal for you than you'll get from a bigger dealership, and that's really a fact. Their no-pressure sales staff and their friendly service after the sale are pluses for this small-town dealer. Get an easy deal on an Oliver Ford tough pickup truck. Visit Oliver Ford in Plymouth at 500 West Jefferson. They'll work hard to give you their best.
Muncie Central is a famous name in Indiana high school basketball. Bill Harrell is a famous name. He coaches Muncie Central. He's won it all here at Market Square 2 years in a row, 1978 and 1979. But Muncie Central's Bearcats eliminated by Indianapolis Cathedral in the Indianapolis semi-state last Saturday night. Bill has joined us on the court. Bill, congratulations on a fine coaching job. You got that ball club going and you were a contender.
Thank you very much, Hilliard. Indianapolis Cathedral is a real fine team. I look for them to start playing a little bit better the second half.
Are you surprised at any element of the game up to this stage?
Well, really, yes, because I think, of course, Plymouth has to be patient to get the good shot. I thought that early in the game, Indianapolis Cathedral came down, one pass and a shot, got themselves in trouble. Plymouth ran off 16 straight points. They were down 12-6. They scored 16 in a row. They're up 22-12. And I think Cathedral might have been in trouble had Skiles hit his 2 1+1s.
Now, Skiles, early in the game, Joe Sexton pointed out, passed up some shots from the left corner of the court against the zone. He went to the right side and began to shoot that shot and hit it. That's an important part of Plymouth's offense.
Yes, they were blocking the baseline guy, but he was getting here. So he wasn't getting the shot from this side. So he had to go more individual and go one-on-one to get the shot. If Cathedral can take that away from him, then they'll go a long way toward winning the game.
Bill, the biggest player for Plymouth, Ron Sissel, has 3 fouls. That's a big factor in this game.
Yeah, that's what happened to us. I remember Dockery fouled out with 4 minutes to go, and I think they were either 1 or 2 points ahead, and we didn't have anybody get to his belly button. I'm talking about Barlow, and he's a fine player. He's big and strong, and he's going to be quite a factor in the game before it's over.
I'm sure Muncie Central is going to be a factor again next year. It always is with Bill Harold coaching. Good luck to you, Bill, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Hilliard.
Nice to see you. Bill Harold, the coach of Muncie Central. We pause now 5 seconds for station identification. Your network sponsors for today's telecast are American Fletcher National Bank and Farm Bureau Insurance.
WSBT-TV, South Bend.
We gave you the unofficial shooting stats. Let's go to Jerry Baker for the official scoring. Jerry?
Thank you, Hilliard, and always nice to see guys like Bill Harold coming on our telecast. Outstanding coach in the state of Indiana. Let's take a look and see how things shaped up in the first half for the respective ball clubs here who have now, at least the Irish have, come back on the floor. They are down by a 28-23 score. They were down by 2 at the end of the first half, 14-12. Here's the Irish scoring in the first half of play. You'll see they are led with the 8 points of Kenny Barlow, although he didn't play all that well in the first half. Shelton Smith with 7 points, 4-point totals each out of Scott Hicks and Carl Daniels off the bench. You also see the foul situation with Kenny Barlow, the only Irish in foul trouble with a couple of personal fouls. That's the way Cathedral looked. While the Plymouth Pilgrims in their first half effort today, they have a rather well-balanced scoring attack once you take away Scott Skiles. He has just been sensational with 14 points. Let me check it over here. Skiles hit 6 out of 12, 50%. 6 points each for his running-mated guard, Phil Wendell, and the man in the middle, Ron Sissel. Samuelson and Peterson, the starting forwards, did not score. And off the bench, Jamie Johnson with a couple of points. You see with the flashing number on the right what could be a very important statistic in this ball game. Ron Sissel, their 6'2 senior center, with 3 personal fouls. The team totals in the first half for Plymouth, they hit 13 out of 25. That is 52%. Cathedral 10 out of 26 for a very miserable 38.5%. At the free throw line, Plymouth was 2 out of 4, 50%. Cathedral 3 out of 5, 40%. Rebounds in favor of Plymouth, 28-25. And no, beg your pardon, rebounds 16 all, I should say. 4 each for Phil Wendell and Scott Skiles, and 8 for Scotty Hicks for the Irish of Cathedral. There are the first half stats for both these ball clubs. And turnovers, 5 for Plymouth and 2 for the Irish of Cathedral. We were talking about the great run that Plymouth made with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first period. They were down 12-6. They did not score. They were up, I should say. Cathedral was up 12-6. They did not score again, did Cathedral, until there were 4:35 to go in the first half. So they went 6 minutes and 55 seconds without scoring. Let's take a break now. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance. Cathedral control the second half tap, won it deep in the corner. Scotty Hicks puts up a 20-footer, comes up short. The Irish get the ball back again. The long court pass by Plymouth that almost went in the hoop. Just underway, second half of play. Jerry Baker, along with Joe Sexton, head coach of Butler University, veteran sportscaster from Fort Wayne, Hilliard Gates. It's been an uphill struggle for the Cathedral Irish. And as I mentioned, they went 6 minutes and 55 seconds without scoring. Kenny Barlow now at 10. He becomes the first Irish player to reach double figures. Ken averages 17.1. Leads the team in block shots with 58. Cathedral kind of slumping back in on defense, giving Peterson scoring room, and that's what he did, getting his first field goal today.
They're going to go after Ron Sissel now.
Sissel has 3 personal fouls, is what Hilliard's referring to. Montgomery, they just leave him alone when he gets it. Inside, they go to Barlow. He missed the first one and followed it up. So, Joe, that's pretty much the way they started the ball game, did Tom O'Brien, going right smack to the big guy in the middle.
Well, right at halftime, I'm sure Coach O'Brien said we have to knock it in there. First of all, Sissel has 3. Secondly, they just don't have enough big people to stop Barlow.
There's the turnover. Probably picked it up. Samuelson was looking in the middle, wanting to throw the ball to one of his teammates. When he looked inside, there was nobody there, and he took that one little extra half a step that got him in trouble. There he was, right on your screen, Todd Samuelson. He has not scored today. All the scoring came out of the guards, and Ron Sissel in the middle. One man off the bench, Jamie Johnson. 30-27. The Irish have cut a 10-point lead. Down by 2 more, and they finally give Brad Montgomery enough room that he takes the shot deep in the corner and hits his first 2 of the game. Montgomery in the first half of this ball game was 0 for 3 from the field.
What we got here, Jerry? 3 men out mid-court.
Almost a little 4-corner here. Samuelson and Wendell, or Skiles and Wendell will handle the basketball. That is Samuelson with it there. Now it's Skiles. One-on-one, working on Shelton Smith. Almost threw it right into the hands of Montgomery, but it was so hard, went right through his hands. Here is the steal by Pfaff, an unbelievable pass, thrown right back, though, into the hands of Ron Sissel. Almost a sensational effort from Scott Pfaff right in front of our television vantage point at courtside at Market Square Arena. Irish much more aggressive on defense, Joe.
Well, they've been standing around a little more than they have in the past weeks that we've seen them in the tournament. And now they're starting to get a little more active.
Almost another steal by Pfaff. It's a 5-on-3 right now as the defensive end for the Irish got up court. And Ron Sissel got his 8th point of the morning. 5 minutes, 20 seconds to play. Third quarter, 32-29. Plymouth out in front. Plymouth looking for its 27th win of the year against 1 defeat. Here is Hicks being fouled by Plymouth. And that may be Ron Sissel. Indeed it is. And that is the 4th on Ron.
Scott Hicks gets inside, gets a nice pass. Here he goes up for the shot. There's Sissel right there. That's a tough play. It's always a tough play when a guy stands with his hands up, doesn't move. The offensive player jumps into him a little bit, and they call a foul on the defensive guy. Now, if his hands would have been straight up, if his arms would have been straight up, I doubt if he would have had that foul called on him. It might have been an offensive foul.
Number 10, Scott Hicks, who just made the UPI All-Junior team and is a 3rd-year starter for Tom O'Brien, is at the line. Hicks is a 70% free throw shooter. That was his first trip to the stripe today. He has 4 points, all coming in the first half. Last year, he was the 2nd leading scorer and rebounder and made the all-sectional team. And he just missed the second shot and finished up with a slam jam on the returning rebound. Awfully close to goaltending is probably correct, and the Irish now are pumped up. They have come from 10 down and trailed by only 1 with 5:01 to go in the third period, 32-31. Back in a minute. One of your network sponsors is American Fletcher National Bank.
For example, the Plymouth Pilgrims may not be the biggest basketball team, but their accuracy and speed show they are the best. The same is true with car dealerships. Oliver Ford Lincoln Mercury may not be the biggest, but they're the best. Being a small-town dealer since 1955, they can work out a better deal for you than you'll get from the bigger dealerships. Oliver Ford can offer you everything from the economy of the Escort to the luxury of the Lincoln Mark VI. In addition, they'll offer qualified, no-pressure salesmen, friendly service after the sale. Really a fact.
A little bit of steam. They've scored 8 points to the Plymouth Pilgrims 4 here, and the early going of the third quarter.
Skiles hasn't taken a shot in this quarter yet.
Bill Wendell with the ball above his head, being hawked by Scott Pfaff. There's Scott Skiles. Big rebound by Kenny Barlow. The Irish have a chance to go in front for the first time since the first period. And a foul called on Barry Peterson. Number 2 on Barry, and the second against the Pilgrims here in the second half.
There's a nice pass here by Scott Pfaff. Shelton Smith is under. There's the foul on Peterson right there.
Last time the Irish led, Joe, was 12-10 with a minute and a half to go in the first half. So they got a chance now to tie it and go in front for the first time since then. First period, I should have said. Belton Smith now 1 out of 3 from the free throw stripe. He's a 66% shooter. Had a high game of 22 points against Indianapolis, Washington this year. Whistle, basket will not count. Somebody stepped into the lane too soon. I believe it was Scotty Hicks. And those are the kind of mistakes, Joe, you sure don't need when you're in the Final Four.
Well, it's a tough play, though, Jerry. You know, they can release now when they're on the lane as soon as the ball is released by the shooter. And it's kind of difficult to know exactly when that ball is released. When you're anxious to get in there and get that rebound when you're only behind by a point.
The Plymouth Pilgrims look for this slam jam here. Scott Hicks.
There's the steal right there.
We're back live now, and the Irish of Cathedral have come from 10 points down to take a 1-point lead with just inside 4 minutes to play, 33-32, third period. They force it to Jamie Johnson. He had it knocked away, but a foul is called. It'll be on Scott Hicks. And that's the first of the game against Scott Hicks.
Let's watch the play now. Here's Jamie Johnson with the ball. Here comes Scott Hicks behind. And right there he is on the arm. Nice call by Bob Marcinek there.
If you're wondering where Ron Sissel is, he picked up his 4th personal foul a couple of minutes ago. He went out of the game, and 6'4" sophomore Jamie Johnson came in to replace him. He has the ball right there. They give him the 15-footer, and he hit it.
Plymouth has done an outstanding job of knocking that ball in the hoop when they left when Cathedral has left them open. You know, Skiles and Wendell are their 2 scorers, but the other people have not hesitated. That's a very good job.
Scott Bath with a lot of company down in front of the Irish bench. It's deflected away, and last touch by Scott Skiles. Plymouth Pilgrims, biggest win of the year, a 49-pointer against Tippecanoe Valley, 90-41. They also beat Culver Community by 46. Their biggest loss was that 2-pointer to South Bend LaSalle. It'd be their only loss of the year. And their average winning margin over the season was 16.8, so they have done a number. They just got the 3rd personal foul on Ken Barlow. On the missed shot by Scott Hicks, Barlow got up twice and picked up the personal.
All right, let's watch it here. There's the shot up. There goes Barlow up the rebound, up again, and I think he got the foul called on him on a 2nd jump.
There's Ken Barlow. We'll see how long Tom O'Brien can go without him. When they took him out early in the game, Joe, it just turned the entire contest around in favor of Plymouth.
Looks like he's going to leave him in there right now with 3.
Skiles going to work on Smith. First 2 of the second half for Scott. He has 16 on the day. 8 in the first period, 6 more in the second, 2 here in the third, and it's a 36-33 lead. 3-point jump now for Plymouth. The Irish throw it away. There is Tom O'Brien, head coach of Cathedral. He coached this ball club for 4 years, had a record of 72-27, then went out into private business for 4 years, then was a Marion County clerk for 4 years. Now is back for his 3rd year and a record of 50-26, and his Irish make the steal. Fast to Montgomery, layup good, it'll count, and a foul is called against Plymouth. Montgomery's 2nd bucket, both of which have come in this period. And there is Todd Samuelson climbing off the deck at MSA with personal foul number 2.
Here's the replay now. Scott Fast gives the ball to Brad Montgomery. Todd Samuelson there. He slides by. Might have been a nice time to call nothing, you know. A little bit of contact there, but really it was a nice offensive move by Montgomery and not a bad defensive move by Samuelson.
So here is Montgomery at the free throw line. He's an honor student, runs cross country at Cathedral High School. And rebounded by Hicks, a loose ball saved by Plymouth. Here come the Pilgrims. They still have a 1-point lead at 36-35 with the clock showing 2:25 to play in the 3rd period. Montgomery on the rebound, whips it out. It's a 3-on-1 break. This is Hicks, wants to go 1-on-1, does, and missed it. Rebound, he had it in his hands, and he was bumped by Scott Bath and out of bounds to Plymouth again.
Jerry, I'm sure the fans have noticed the physical similarity between 2 Plymouth players. They're not even related to each other, but Todd Samuelson and also Philip Wendell look almost exactly alike.
They really do. Tom O'Brien has taken Ken Barlow out of the game. 3 personal fouls, 12 points. Reinserted Carl Daniels, a 6'7" sophomore, number 44. Carl has 4 points, all scored in the first half. He has not committed a foul as of yet, and it'll be interesting now, Joe, to keep an eye on Tom O'Brien, see how long he wants to keep Big Kenny Barlow on that bench.
I would assume he'll keep him out for the rest of this quarter.
Great move by Skiles. Scott now with 4 points in the period, 18 on the day, and it's a 38-35 lead. Plymouth back in front by 3 with 1 minute and 40 seconds to play in the third period. Bath inside to Scott Hicks, and Joe Sexton told me at halftime when we weren't on the air, he said they got to start going to Hicks more, and Joe, they've done that. He has 6 points here in the third period. And Scott Bath has just picked up personal foul number 2, second against the ball club here in the second half. So no shots involved unless they call it a shooting foul. Substitution for the Irish, 32. Randy Knox reinserted into the lineup. 6-foot senior, played in 27 games, averaged just a notch under 2 per game. It will not be a shooting foul, a common foul. So the inbound trigger man for Plymouth is Todd Samuelson, a 5'11" junior. Out to Skiles. He's in what would be 3-point range in the NBA.
Cathedral's in the zone right now because the ball was taken out underneath the basket. Other times they've been able to knock it in.
Got the shot away, did Peterson, but it through the back of the iron, and the rebound out to Scott Bath. Bath right in front of the Irish bench, dropped it inside to Hicks, blocked away, and a whistle and a foul called against Plymouth. And the young man who nailed him is Jamie Johnson. He gets his first foul, and he very cordially picks him up off the deck.
Okay, Jerry, we're going to see Jamie Johnson swing his arms around here. If he would have just put his hand on the ball, which was right on top, he would have had a jump ball. But anytime you swing your arm that violently, it's going to be a foul call.
Scott Hicks, who was an honor roll student, member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes organization at Cathedral High School, is up with a 1-1. That'll make it 2 shots, fouled in the act of shooting. Hicks is 0 for 3 from the stripe, and he's a 70% free throw shooter. In fact, this period, Cathedral's 0 for 5 from the line. Tie ball game of 38. The last time it was tied was way back at 12. Not anymore. Scott Skiles now with 20. Skiles averaging 28.8, top scorer in the Hoosier State. Leads the team in rebounds and assists, and is 1/10 of and steals, and is 1/10 of an assist behind the team leader Phil Wendell. So he's got great numbers in every category. Hicks flips it in the middle, and there was nobody there except the red shirt. Here come the Plymouth Pilgrims again. They're up by 2. Tremendous effort from Barry Peterson. Oh, he had white shirts all over him and still managed to get the rebound and get the shot. Hicks had it taken away. Out of bounds, belongs to Cathedral. I'll tell you right now, Joe, I think that Cathedral's being out quick. They're just being out hustled. Plymouth is playing very intense basketball.
Plymouth is an intense team, and just as Hilliard said prior to the game, they're going to play hard out here for 32 minutes. I think Cathedral's picked up in this particular quarter over their effort on the first half. They're much more aggressive defensively.
Scott Bath turned it over. He got it stuck on his hip. He was looking to go back door to one of the Irish forwards, and with 7 seconds to go, Plymouth will bring it in. And, boy, they can really make it tough on Cathedral in the fourth period with a bucket here. Bill Wendell in the corner, deflected by one of the Plymouth players. It goes back now to Cathedral, now with only 2 seconds to go. So the inbounds man will be Randy Knox. Let's see what they decide to do. They have set Carl Daniels way up court. They may come instead to Bath. They will. He'll shoot about an 80-footer that's way off the mark. We've gone through 3, and it's Plymouth 42 and Cathedral 38. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance. Officially, our shooting is extremely close, as you see on your screen. Cathedral hitting 54%, Plymouth 53%, but those numbers don't mean very much, Coach. There is the wife of head coach Jack Edison, Judy, who is here and obviously extremely enthusiastic right now as a big red ball club of hers has got a 4-point lead going into the final 8 minutes of the basketball game. And Joe, for the first time since you and I have seen him, there's a lot of pressure on the Irish. We want them in the regional and the semi-state. They got their backs to the wall right now.
They certainly do, especially with their big guy in foul trouble with 3 fouls, Kenny Barlow.
Barlow is in the game. He will jump now against Jamie Johnson. Johnson 6'4", Barlow at 6'10", and the tap control by Cathedral, and up they go to Hicks. And he makes a great play, and a foul is called against Plymouth. And it'll be on Philip Wendell, and on Phil, that is number 1. Beautiful play.
Well, this is interesting. They started the game like this, and Scott Hicks got a basket, just exactly like this. Over to Montgomery and then to Hicks. I don't know what that is, but that's a basket and a foul right there.
Hicks is now taking over the scoring lead for the Irish. That gives him 13 points, and he has a chance to go to the line and add to that total right now. Scott Hicks, number 10, is described by head coach Tom O'Brien as a major college prospect, and is only a junior. 14 now for Hicks, and it's a 42-41 lead. Plymouth still has that margin. Oh, the Pilgrims have played well. Deflected away, and a foul called. It'll be on Hicks. And there wasn't much he could do there because Peterson had a step on him. And Scott Hicks picks up personal foul number 2.
Nice pass in here now. Now watch the foul right here. There's nothing he could do is right, Jerry. He's right at the hoop. He saved the 2 points on that block. So if he misses either of these free throws, why, he saved that many points.
Peterson is a 79% free throw shooter. Barry is 6'2" senior now with 5 points. They have all come in the second half.
This stage of the game, Cathedral hitting 45%. Plymouth 53%.
Rebound advantage belongs to Cathedral, but not by much, 22-21. And the turnovers, 12 for Cathedral and 10 for Plymouth. Scott Hicks again, blocking foul called against Plymouth. It'll be on Phil Wendell. That's second time in succession now that Wendell's committed a foul on Scott Hicks.
Nice job by Plymouth there. They have not been using their full court pressure. They went into a 3/4 court press here, and then Cathedral reacted very well after not realizing that Plymouth was putting on the pressure, and moved the ball well and got it to Barlow and then across to Hicks.
Well, Cathedral's free throw shooting has not been very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got him 2 out of 8 in the second half. 2 out of 9.
Scott Hicks is moving his head, Joe, on the free throws.
30 seconds deep into the 4th period. Skiles dishes it off into the corner, and Jamie Johnson knocks it home. Half a dozen for Jamie. Joe, your observation earlier about Wendell and Skiles giving up the ball and getting results out of the other players still holding true.
Yes, it is.
Ken Barlow getting a bucket, only his third of the second half, 14 now. He and Hicks lead the scoring attack, each with 14 points. 46-43. Plymouth almost got another one there. The rebound finally rolls off into the hands of Ken Barlow. Well, after the game was tied at 38, Plymouth took command of the game again and ran the lead to 5. Now it is at 3, 46-43, with 6:45 to play. Now the Irish cheering section and the Big Red of Plymouth both as a unit on their collective feet. I don't think they've sat down since the game started. Great defensive play in the middle from Barry Peterson. Knocked it away. Here comes Skiles, 1-on-4. Rebounded by Kenny Barlow again. Kicks the ball out in a hurry to Shelton Smith. Number 12 being guarded by number 12, Phil Wendell. Timeout call for the Irish. 6:23 to play. 4th and final period. Plymouth 46, Cathedral 43. We'll continue after this message.
For example, the Plymouth Pilgrims may not be the biggest basketball team, but their accuracy and speed show they are the best. The same is true with car dealerships. Oliver Ford Lincoln Mercury may not be the biggest, but they're the best. Being a small-town dealer since 1955, they can work out a better deal for you, and you'll get...
Is Arlington. They're 7-0 in tournament play, a record of 27-2. Biggest win, a 42-pointer against Lawrence Central, 79-37. Biggest loss, a 9-point defeat. The hands of the Arlington Golden Knights, 74-69. 55, I should say. Montgomery. Skiles caresses that basketball. 2 minutes gone, fourth period. Joe, would you expect Plymouth maybe to drop it down a notch here, kill a little time?
I don't know what they're thinking right now. Oh, he's going to go behind, backdoor to Skiles on the other side.
Woo! Good block, but there must have been some body contact made somewhere before the shot. It is on Scotty Hicks, number 3 on him.
There's Scott Skiles driving in there, and there comes Scotty Hicks.
He had to get him with the body because he didn't get him with the hand.
He certainly didn't, did he?
Plymouth will send Skiles to the free throw line. He had 30 points in that semi-state finale against South Bend LaSalle last Saturday. He's in the top 1/4 of his class academically. And as I mentioned, UPI All-State first team just announced yesterday. And this young man's got a lot of people banging on his door. Scott now at 21. He averages 28-8. He's a 77% free throw shooter. Now 3 out of 5 from the stripe today. Hicks on the rebound. 4-point lead, 47-43 for Plymouth. They have led most of the way. Oh, sensational move from Ken Barlow. The only thing about that shot, Joe, if he doesn't make it, your big guy's completely off the floor. He's no rebounding factor at all.
No, but that's secondary, Jerry, because they need to get it in there. And as a matter of fact, Scott Hicks and Kenny Barlow have been the only guys to do any scoring at all for Cathedral lately.
Sensational effort from Scott Skiles. He was all but stymied twice. And now the Irish turn it over. They stepped in on the inbounds pass. Oh, when it rains, it pours, and all is going wrong for Tom O'Brien's ball club right now. 5:10 to play. The Irish cheering section with very little to do at this point of the game. They are down 49-45, and the Irish could turn this into about a 6-point play. I should say Plymouth could turn it into a 6-point play. They do not, and Scott Hicks comes off with the rebound. Now let's see. Barlow sets up low. They have Carl Daniels also in the lineup, up high. Inside they go. There's no way to stop Barlow when he gets that kind of a position on you. 18 points for Ken. That's one above his average of 17-1. Cathedral back to within 2 at 49-47. Inside to Skiles. It is up. It does not go, and a foul is called. And they have tagged Carl Daniels with his first foul of the afternoon. Well, go ahead and look at it again, Joe.
Has to be confusion on Cathedral's defense here because Scott Skiles can't be left alone right in there. Look at him. There's where the foul is. Excuse me, the foul is. I'm surprised he didn't power that in the basket.
Unusual player, isn't he, George?
He certainly is.
I am continually amazed, Joe. You and I talked before the game. How in the world was Plymouth going to match up either offensively or defensively? Well, offensively, they just go in and play like he's 6 foot 8 inches tall. They ignore that height disadvantage they have. They got their act together very well.
That's true, Jerry, and he is very strong, as you mentioned earlier in the game.
Skiles hits one and misses one. Scott now with 24. He leads all the scorers on the floor today. 4 minutes and 32 seconds to play. Fourth period. 3-point lead. Now they go inside on the alley-oop. Kenny Barlow very gingerly lays it over the edge of the rim, and Kenny now at 20. Irish have pulled to within 1. It's 50-49 with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to play in this fourth and final period. Well, they try to go back door, and very quickly Scott Fast steals it. They come now to the big man, and they got it. Carl Daniels on his 6th point, and with 4:07 to go, Cathedral goes back in front by 51-50. Now let's see how the Pilgrims react to the pressure. They had a 5-point lead about 2 minutes ago.
Ron Sissel getting ready to re-enter now as starter for Plymouth.
Bill Wendell at guard. Here's the one man they want to have ball. The ball, Skiles. Oh, great pass inside. Todd Samuelson to Jamie Johnson. Johnson with 8. And that time the Irish defense just blinked their eyes, and Johnson had the basketball. Here's a foul called on Jamie Johnson. That'll be 2 on him. And as Hilliard pointed out, Ron Sissel is coming back into the Plymouth Pilgrim lineup, replacing Barry Peterson. Peterson going out with 6 points, a couple of personal fouls, line. Here comes Ken Barlow to the line. Kenny Barlow was one of the co-captains. He was named all-sectional, all-regional, all-semi-state. Last year was the top scorer, rebounder, and block shot leader on this Cathedral ball club. They are down by 1. Barlow's having a great fourth period, Joe. He has 9 points. He had just 12 for the entire game coming into the fourth period, playing with some more aggression.
He's getting some awfully good passes from his guards as well.
Now he's 4 out of 4 from the free throw stripe, and the Irish go back in front by 1, 53 to 52 with 3 minutes and 25 seconds to play.
Change in the Cathedral defense now. They've gone to a 2-3 zone with a 1-point lead and 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the game.
You probably saw Scott Skiles push Phil Wendell back out more to the point guard spot. They're going to try to kill a little time. Apparently, Skiles puts it up. Oh, that guy's got ice water in his veins, Joe.
Yeah, I think that zone would have to be packed over to his side if you're going to play on a 2-3 zone.
And Plymouth goes out in front again, 54 to 53 with 2:55 to play. They try to go to Barlow. Loose ball picked up by Plymouth again. Out it comes to Scott Skiles. Skiles, the advantage on the break, ran into the defensive man. The shot is away in the corner. No good. Tapped up once, wouldn't go. The miss by Todd Samuelson, and the rebound by Cathedral again.
2:38 to go in the game.
Cathedral basketball. Shelton Smith loves this kind of a situation. Joe, he couldn't wait to get the basketball.
No, that's the first thing he's done for a while. He did a nice job of penetrating.
His first 2 points in the second half, as a matter of fact, Coach. He has 9 on the day.
And Plymouth has been so good in their man-to-man defense, getting help from the weak side away from the ball, and that time they didn't get it.
This is Wendell. Rebound, Cathedral. Now let's see what happens in a reach-in foul on Scott Skiles, number 3.
Well, you've got to second-guess that shot from the edge of the foul circle. Not a very good shot at that moment.
Well, let's see what the situation is here. On Skiles' 3rd personal foul. We are, of course, in the bonus, and we'll go to the free throw line. And this is Scott Bass, team leader in assists last year with 96. And when, as we mentioned, they have the situation with Tim Hoffman for the Irish coming down with mononucleosis. They moved Montgomery from guard to forward. They brought Bass off the bench to Tom O'Brien, put him in the starting lineup at the start of the semi-state, and he has played very well. Missed the shot, though, and the rebound comes off again to Plymouth.
2 minutes.
55-54, Cathedral by 1. Let's see what Plymouth's game plan may be. Wendell looking in the middle. They go in low now to Sissel, back in that lineup despite the 4 personal fouls. Out to Skiles, who has just been unbelievable today. Off to Wendell again. Penetration, they dump it up to Skiles. He shuffles it down low to Johnson. They give it back the other side, and they got it to Ron Sissel. Tremendous ball handling, Joe.
Great pass in there now. Jamie Johnson threw that ball right across the lane to Sissel, and he got that hook. It's a big one to put him 1 point up.
A minute and a half remains to be played in this basketball game. 56 to 55. Plymouth has the lead. Johnson, or I should say Hicks, got a Smith in the offensive charging foul. Shelton Smith ran to the baseline. There was no place for him to go.
Let's see if he sticks his arm out here. Looks like he might have. That'll be the only way he could have had an offensive foul.
See what happens, because Plymouth for the first time has got a chance to put this thing in the refrigerator for a little while. 1:13 to play in the game. 56-55. Plymouth by 1. Skiles, Wendell, Skiles, Wendell, Skiles.
They want Skiles to handle the ball. He's their best free throw.
Ball called on number 10, Scott Hicks. That's 4 on Scotty, and that may have been by design, Joe. With a minute 2 to go, Tom O'Brien wants to waste no more time. In fact, he takes time out now. With 1:02 to play in this ball game, it's 56 for Plymouth, 55 for Indianapolis Cathedral. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance. Finals of the boys State High School Basketball Championship as sanctioned by the Indiana High School Athletic Association. And another game to come. It's going to be hard to equal this kind of excitement. Evansville Boston, the #1 team in the state, and Jerry Roosevelt. But that's on at least a minute 2 away. Here is Scott Skiles, good free throw shooter. Skiles hit his first 2, missed 2. Now has hit 3 out of his last 4. Scott now with 27 points. He has 7 here in this final period. Oh, this is a big one here. The Plymouth Pilgrims have now begun to Really put the pressure on the Irish. They had it on them all day long. Almost a steal. Managed to track it down. It's Shelton Smith. On it comes to Fath. They go inside to Barlow, and they threw it away. Jamie Johnson did a good job of blocking Barlow away from the hoop that time. He couldn't get there. Tom O'Brien looking on. His Irish are in a lot of trouble right now. 27-2 and ranked 5th by AP and 6th by UPI in the final poll. They're down to 40 seconds to play in this game. Almost a steal. Instead, a foul on Shelton Smith. 3 on him. No Catholic school has ever won the Indiana State Championship, and the Irish thought they had a good chance at it. They've got some manpower. They got the ability, but boy, Plymouth has just played him nose to nose. Another timeout. Cathedral wants to talk some more. 36 seconds remain. 58-55. Plymouth, one of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance. Back live at Market Square Arena. The clock showing 36 seconds to play in this basketball game. Plymouth out in front by 3. 58-55, and their best shooter at the free throw line, Scott Skiles. Well, he's been up there now. Hilliard 6 times in this period, hit on 5 out of the 6. He has 29 points. That's right at his scoring average.
Well, 30 for the regular season, right, Gary?
And he may have just nailed the lid on the coffin of the Cathedral Irish. It's a 5-point lead with 32 seconds to go. Fath inside, off the mark, hits on the rebound. They backed up and gave him plenty of room, and a timeout called again. Cathedral wanted that timeout, and one of the best defensive plays of the game, Joe, may have occurred just at that point in time when the defense for Plymouth just backed up and let Hicks have the free shot.
Yes, Scotty Fath drove all the way under there and shot it up there, and of course that was the strategy. Get it up quickly and then get the rebound, put it back in and call your immediate timeout. So that's what Cathedral did a nice job there. And Plymouth did a nice job of not fouling to give them a possible 3-point play, which would bring them then within a hoop of tying the score.
At the beginning of the season, Plymouth was unranked in either poll. In the final poll, both AP and UPI had them number 4. They climbed to number 1 by the Associated Press guidelines on the 23rd of February, and that very same day they were number 2 by UPI. Cathedral began the year preseason rated number 6. They climbed to number 1 on the 15th of December and quickly fell out of there as they got a couple of another loss tagged onto them. They finally dwindled down to the final poll at number 6 by AP and number 5 by UPI.
Gary, Plymouth was unbeaten the day after we made the tournament draw, you remember. They were ranked number 1 and played South Bend LaSalle George Griffith's team and were beaten the last game of the regular season.
We lost a lot of teams after that draw. You know that? We lost, what was it, Anderson Highland the night before the draw. But here we go now. 24 seconds to play. The Irish are down by 3. Plymouth has the basketball. They get it in, get it across the timeline, and a blocking foul is called against Cathedral. No, they called it against Skiles, I believe. I thought the initial signal was against Cathedral, Joe. That's not the case.
Here it is. Here's a big play now. He jumps up in the air, and there's the call against Scott Skiles.
But the defensive man did have position.
He did. It's an accurate call. He set himself in the middle of the floor and stayed right there. That defensive man that Hilliard referred to was Randy Knox. Randy's a 78% shooter. He is 0 for 1 from the stripe today. He has not scored a point. 6-foot senior Randy Knox, co-captain of the. Now wait a minute. Now they put Shelton Smith in there. Knox was out there. Now Smith goes in. I thought it was Smith, but Knox had taken his position, and now Shelton Smith will come in.
But Jack Edison is discussing it right now.
And it will be Shelton Smith. And he is a 66% shooter. Knox was 78, so they might have lost something in that one. He's 1 for 4. Rebound out of bounds to Plymouth.
Oh, what a big play there.
So Shelton Smith misses the free throw, and the ball goes out of bounds on the ensuing rebound, and it is coming in, and a foul will be called against Scott Fath, number 20 of Cathedral, as he lands right in the lap of his teammates across the way. You know, Joe, this is an interesting ball game in the respect of when Cathedral got behind, and Plymouth got ahead, obviously. It was, it never really changed. Even when Cathedral got the lead, they seemed to be battling for their lives. It's been an uphill climb for the Irish all day long.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's been for the 32 minutes. Plymouth just seems to have had the upper hand, even with the Irish. That's a good point.
Well, they play in the same tempo nearly all the way. Some people think they hold the ball, but they really don't. You can't hold the ball and average 76 points a game.
No way. That is the first point of the second half for Phil Wendell. He now has 8, and with 17 seconds to go, Plymouth is all but in the championship game. It's deflected away. Last touch by Phil Wendell. Lands in the hand of Brad Lennon, one of the assistants over there. He and Steve Hodson and Mike Miller help out Tom O'Brien. Mike Pettibone and Tom Eisenberger are assistants with the Plymouth Pilgrims. Here's the rebound put back up, and it still won't go for Scotty Hicks. Hicks it again, still won't go. Hicks again and finally gets it with 2 seconds. One. The clock shows zeros. And let's see, I believe it's going to be over. It is over. And the Plymouth Pilgrims have made believers out of a crowd of 17,000 in addition to a Midwestern-wide telecast as they have pulled off. I don't think, Joe, you can term it an upset at this stage of the season, but a lot of people didn't give them much of a chance to win this thing.
Well, that's true, Jerry, but they certainly deserved it today. They played a terrific ball game, just as we'd anticipated that they would. And Scott Skiles is everything that everybody's talked about. And so he led his ball club into that championship game. It's quite an effort on their part. I have to give a lot of credit to their team defense. And a great coaching job by that group of coaches at Plymouth, because their defense was outstanding throughout the entire game.
Final score, Plymouth 62.